Not musicians and cool things and stuff. It's the Holly and Josh Show.
Yeah!
Oh, Harley's here. He's enjoying Spidervayne with Skinwalker there. That's going to be released soon. How are you, Harley?
I'm good, man.
Got a
man.
weird text from you when you were on the way. Says, running late, be there as a baby. Start with that, me. What does that mean?
Now, when you say that, okay.
Do you mean I should turn up with a dummy in my mouth? And
But what I
goo
said
goo
was,
gaga?
be there ASAP.
All right.
But be there as a baby. It's just...
See, what we were talking about last week, we were talking about, voice searches and dictation should be dictating what people should call their bands and
Yeah.
names. Yeah, it depends whether people say it right.
Yes, me and Oscar had that actually on our way to our on the way to our gig this weekend, which I'll get to that because that's a nice bit to end on.
Right. But instead we'd be getting people searching for like "Sweet Child of Minecraft," and it would just come up like really weird little blocked axle rows.
I am sure somebody has done a YouTube
Sweet
video
Child of
of
Minecraft.
Sweet Child of Minecraft. I am sure.
Yeah, just playing a pickaxe. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like Slash. But so what have you been doing, boy?
Right. Well, I've had it's been back in the swing of things for music. We've been back at Rock Project. We've been doing all of our things. Kind of, it's been the first week in quite a while where there's been some form of routine, which has been nice.
Yeah, it's back to because when you have like the bank holidays and coupled with holiday sort of days, Christmas or New Year's Day or Boxing Day, and it's you lose track of what day of the week it is. Now I'm super back on track. It's great.
Nobody knows what day of the week it is still.
No.
I was out.
Well, this really starts on my week. If I know, okay, so today's Monday.
Yeah, that's it. This is the capital letter of the week. Oh, we should. That's it. Harley and Josh show. The capital letter of the week.
Oh yes, makes us sound like a Scrabble-based show.
Oh yes.
And we're both very illiterate.
That's
why we're musicians.
If someone can message in and tell us how many points Harley and Josh show is
Scrabble
in Scrabble, let me know. Obviously,
we'll give you a jingle.
We'll give you a jingle.
You immediately win a jingle.
Yeah, it will definitely be a Scrabble jingle.
Yeah. So. You had an interesting week of teaching.
Yes,
and
it was great to see all the students again, and hearing the little ones talk about all of their Christmas things, all the stuff they got up to over the holiday. I mean, the seniors are sort of your teenagers. So what do you get over the holidays?
Not much.
Fortnite.
Yeah. It's classic, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're just like, anybody, anything cool? Anything cool? And they're just looking at you like, stop asking me things.
Yeah. So that was it was really cool to be back doing that. And also
the difficult thing is actually getting the juniors to stop talking about what they did over Christmas.
Yeah.
Like with the seniors, it's hard to get them to start. It's like, did you do any practice? What did you practice? Just songs. Whereas the juniors, it's like, I practiced counting stars, I practiced We Will Rock You, and I got a slime making machine, and my granny pooed herself at the Christmas dinner table, and then I went home and practiced more. And he's just like, stop, please. Derailing the whole lesson.
Yes. One of my Thursday students, it's quite a regular thing, and I know it's the sort of thing you don't want to say to everyone, because some people are a little bit more sensitive, but I can... With this guy, I go, nope, stop, refocus. Focus on me, focus on your bass. Now, where were we? Chorus. And he's like, okay, got it. And but he responds well to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you say you got to be careful.
So you got to be like, do hypnosis.
Yes.
Like, look around the eyes, look down the eyes, look around the eyes.
Look around the bass, look into the bass, look onto the bass, not around the bass, look just to the bass, just to the bass, just to the bass, just the bass.
There we go. The mysteries of the bass.
Oh yes. So yeah, that was great. We also you were there too. We did the music forum.
Yes, we did.
Thing led by Andy Hopkins, which was really interesting.
Yeah.
So for those who didn't know, it was a little bit of a closed group to start off with, just whilst we kind of felt the air and what it was. But Andy Hopkins, who's been on the show, and
Hobby and the Hopefuls,
and is also an MU representative.
The
sort of
executive board.
on the really. I didn't know she was that high. Wow.
Mm.
Committee. Anyway. She ran this meeting just to get musicians all together and talk about the local music world and how we can sort of make the most of it and make it the most it can be. And stuff like that, which was cool. I'm sure we will talk about that.
We'll talk about that a bit later on. Yeah. But there was a nice mix of people there, wasn't there?
Yeah. It was really great. There was not only was there musicians, there were drummers as well.
Drive-by insult. There,
yes. No, there were musicians. There were drummers. There were also promoters for events. Darren Smith and Layla Edwards, both who run events and put on shows around the local area, were there, as well as a few people from venues as well. So it was great to get people talking from every angle. So everyone was completely on the same page, which was great. And it was really cool.
You stayed for most of the meeting, didn't you?
I
left towards the end.
I did have to leave early. I don't know how long it went on after I'd left. You were going back in as I was leaving, I believe. Or did you go back in?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Oh, fair enough. I thought you were going into the building. I wasn't sure if you were.
We were. I was having another meting in a different room of the building.
Oh, it was a different room. Okay.
Yeah,
no. All right.
That's the gardener's arms for you. There's two parts of it.
I had to leave because I had a meeting with Chart Attack because we're on the process of working out how we do everything, really.
Okay, so you're talking about sort of streamlining the social media stuff and
a little bit of that. Yeah, we're going to be. Also, now we're working with agencies, and with the horrendous Christmas we've had, we met up and decided...
Horrendously busy, you mean?
Yeah, and also with Elliot being out of action, we were like, right, we need to find depths. We need to find someone who can stand in for vocals, someone who can stand in for guitar, stand in for drums, stand in for bass. So we've got every bass and guitar and drum and vocal covered. And it was really cool.
It's annoying that it should be one of the first things that you do as a band is actually finding depths for it. Because I mean, when I first started the Lockabillies, it was the fact of I had a drummer, a bass player, and me. It was Hicks, Murray, and I. And when Hicks couldn't do a show, I found a drummer that could do it. Yeah. And if Murray couldn't do it, then I'd play bass, and then I got Rich in. But it took a little while to do that because everybody's really sort of like going full ham on it like at the start, but after a while people are like, I need to prioritize some other things. So that, like, if you are starting out a band, a good idea is very early on get yourself depths for every instrument.
Yes.
So you can't turn down gigs then, can you?
That's it. It's what would you do if you couldn't make a gig? If you fell ill, would that be a cancellation? Or
that'd be a cancellation. But I haven't cancelled it from illness yet.
No, that's the problem with that. Is essentially about overworking yourself. Is then you don't want to put yourself in that position. Yeah. Well, the ideal thing is to not get ill. Yeah. But
ideally,
easier said than done.
Yeah, exactly.
But so we went through that. We added some new songs to our set. We also had a little sort of roundup of what we've done over the last year. We've done 26 gigs in 2018. I forgot what year it was, which was pretty good. Bear in mind, it was.
You formed when?
Pardon?
When did you form again?
We formed in May or August, 2017. So
May or August.
I can't remember which one.
It may have been August.
It may have been August. Yeah. So it was our first full year of being a band, and it went really well. We've made a lot of progress. We played at the Duke of York on the weekend, and that was one of our first gigs we did there because Elliot used to work behind the bar. He got us a gig there, which was great, and there was someone who was at both gigs, and he said that it was Dan Harvey. Daniel Harvey. Yeah. Daniel Harvey. Yeah. So he was there, and he said he was at the first gig, and he was at this gig, and he says he was so impressed with the growth that we've made in that time, which will happen, but it's nice to know that it's been noticed by people other than us, which is great.
They also know their music and they know bands.
Oh yeah, very much so. And it was great. It was a really good gig. It was a little bit quiet, but the people there really enjoyed it. We got a good review on our website, on our Facebook page, which I would say, if you like a band, go review them on Facebook, because that helps so much.
That's huge. It really is. I mean, like Impilo got a review on their page the other day, and I'm part of the admin on that page. And just seeing that was really nice. It was from a fellow musician, and they said, the drummer's a really nice bloke. They play really good jams. Check them out sometime. And just like that is like at the top of the page. Yeah. When you go, and I bet when I'm checking out bands for the for the show every week. I barely ever see that.
No.
Barely ever see that.
And I think people are scared to call for give us a review because people are a bit scared of doing the hard sell of buy our product, make us more, accessible to other people, la-di-da-di-da.
But we're constantly sitting there going, come to our gig, which costs money, and it involves them getting out of the house. Literally just say, can you review the page?
It doesn't cost you anything.
I think it's people are afraid that they're just going to be like 1 star.
Which, if you're confident in your product, is very, very unlikely.
Yeah.
And no one's ever given 1 star genuinely, mostly because they're annoyed because the singer didn't kiss them when they asked.
My window cleaner is actually hit on my wife, so I'm giving him a 1-star review.
I mean, I guess that's fair. That's not very professional.
And he was also in this band.
Yes. So that was a good fun gig. It was also the first gig we've done as the original lineup since the 16th. So we were very happy to all be together and gigging again. But it was quite funny on the way there because I gave Oscar a lift. He's the guitarist for band Bang, which is the new thing.
Yeah, we've got some new stuff coming from them today.
Well, on the way there, you were talking about voice command and stuff. He's like, do you mind if we try and see the voice command thing, see if we can find my song on Spotify?
Right.
And he was like, okay, right. So press the button. Play Influential by Bang. No results for by Bang. Okay. Play Influential, Bang. Could not find Influential by Bank. Okay, try it again. Could not find Influential by Van. Like, this went on for about 10 minutes. Eventually, Influential by Bang came straight on.
Correct.
And we were dancing around because it's really awesome.
Yeah.
Should we play it? Because he
sent
it to us to play on the radio. So if anybody wants to check more of their stuff out, they're playing in Camden this weekend. I can't remember the name of the venue, but they are also coming to Ipswich on the 1st of February.
With Reno and Rome.
With Reno and Rome, yeah.
Well.
So that's that. We're all looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. That's a great pair up, actually. Bang and Reno and Rome will be a great sort of, well-oiled pop machine.
Definitely.
All right, guys, this is Influential by Bang. Check it out. Nice little collaboration there.
Yeah.
That was Bang with Influential. Oscar's band, they're great. I was saying they're quite a nice little mix between the Fearless Flyers and Jackson 5.
That's it. It's real, just the happy music, man.
Yeah,
real
Wolfpack,
happy.
kind of, well-oiled
a
pop.
million miles from Spidervayne.
yeah. Well, that's why we like doing it on the show. There is no just sort of good and bad music when it comes to genres.
No.
It's all good music when it's well done. So yeah, I mean, I was at the meeting with you last week. That was Tuesday, wasn't it?
Yes.
So
yeah, what was your take on it then?
Yeah, it was good. I have to say I was a naysayer at the beginning.
Yeah.
I was vocal to you and sort of my very close sort of 2-3 musical friends that I didn't think it was going to work.
Yeah.
Because I just thought that it was just going to turn into a big shouting match about who has the worst deal, venues or musicians or promoters. And luckily, most people kept it under wraps. There was a lot of moaning, just saying, "Oh, it's hard work," and it's just like, yeah, duh. It's always been hard work being a musician. It's not going to change.
No.
And there was, just some sort of things where it was just a lot of sob stories. People sitting there going, I got this cancelled. Somebody double booked this kind of thing. And it's like, okay, sharing's caring. I get it, but it's happened to all of us. The reason why we're here is not to have a big group, cry session.
Yeah.
It's to sort things out. And the first meeting was for meeting everybody and getting an idea of what it was about. So I get that there wasn't, from while I was there, I wasn't there the whole time. Nothing really was actioned as to what we were going to do, which I think, the next thing that was actioned was that we're going to meet up again.
Yeah. Which I think's
it's definitely a good idea. Definitely a good idea. And it would just, because my suggestion for it was that we get together a sort of code of conduct or an accord. together that we can take around to venues and say, this is proper practice. Venues and musicians, sorry. So musicians do have to own up to the fact that they don't do the job properly all the time. As all the time I see on my Facebook is other musicians sitting there going, oh, venues don't do this, venues don't promote, venues don't pay properly. Whereas we don't look at ourselves enough and sit there and say, okay, are we actually doing the job?
Yeah.
Sometimes people will moan, but they're not actually doing as good a job as they could do.
Yeah.
Just the same as venues and promoters are sometimes. So, I thought it was going to turn into a massive slugfest of people just throwing their weight around and saying, oh, I'm good at this, you're not good at that. Luckily, there wasn't that much of it. I think, what needs to be done, I think, is just to get a code of conduct of we as musicians will make a poster.
Yeah.
Or we as musicians will turn up with all the gear that's needed and we will be prepared. Venues will handle promotion and actually have the right staff on the night, have the area cleared for them, that kind of stuff. Because the amount of times I've had to move tables around in a venue, but so we can play, it's just like, come on, man. Like, you knew I was going to be here 3 weeks ago. Yeah. So, you knew what time I was going to be here, so clear a space for us. Yeah. But little things like that, not like we agree to bring 100 fans at least, or we as a venue agree to sell this amount of tickets, or we as a venue will definitely pay you this amount, straight off the bat. It depends. Well, sometimes that is needed, but it's there are some certain things where it's just financially it's not viable to be paying a band a huge amount of money. Yeah. When you don't know if they're going to bring a good fan base, and it's also not viable for you to play a gig if that money's not there for you. So there does need to be a middle ground kind of reached between venues and promoters and musicians. So definitely. What was your take on it?
I thought it was really, really quite healthy. I was positive from the start that it would be something good. Mm-hmm. I was aware of your concerns, and they were concerns for me also. Mm-hmm.
There were certain people in there I knew had it in for each other, and I was like, "This is going to." At one point, it did there was one person having to go at another person having to go at another, and I'm just like, "Oh, great, here we go." Yeah, this is exactly what I thought was going to happen. That I didn't want to happen.
Yeah, there was another situation like that was a bit more so after you'd left, which it was quite funny actually. Right. But it did get a bit heated, but then it was Andy did a really good job of
mediating.
Yeah, she did a very good job of that, and there was some really good points. Now, one of the big things we're talking about is in terms of like a lot of this was brought together about gig cancellations and stuff, and that was handled really well because everyone went, well, how can we stop this happening in the future? Well, let's work in a way that means that because a lot of the venues said, well, if a venue changes hands or anything like that, we need communication from the bands to go, we're booked here for this date, by the way. I don't know if you've got it written down and stuff like that. So, and there are a lot of things where a lot of bands went, oh, I didn't really thought of that. Yeah. And that's what we need to be able to move forward.
It's not always apparent that when a venue changes hands, they're not doing a big signposting. By the way, all bands,
because that can look bad for a venue if they change hands, because that can take a lot of confidence.
Yeah. So there is, there needs to be a nice, smooth transition, from owner to owner, which doesn't always happen for it to work properly. So, there is just certain things where, at least a week beforehand, a band checks to see if everything's still good and everything's okay. And the same the other way around. Just little sort of codes of conduct. If you were in business with someone and there was a business transaction going down, quite an important one, you would be keeping tabs as to making sure that it's going ahead.
Yeah, follow-up emails, there'd be phone calls, just to make sure that the right boxes are being ticked at the right time. Mm-hmm. And I think because there's a lot of bands who do this not as a job, but do it as a hobby, there's less awareness of the sort of it's the mediation that goes into putting on a show, that what might be expected of them in some venues. Yeah. some venues are quite laid back and casual. They'll do it over the phone. They'll pay you cash on the night. Other places want confirmation via email. They'll pay you at direct debit and want an invoice and everything. But it's just getting to the point where we're all on the same level. So then there's a consistency from venue to venue, and from band to band as well.
Definitely. I mean, there was one thing I said, because there was one person that recommended that we all book through a certain thing, an online calendar or something like this. And I was very against that, because I think it takes away people's ability to do business their own way. It's like, that's kind of half of your company is not just the product that you make and the actual deal you do. It's actually how you work, and how you tick. It's very important to be able to have your own personality in the way you do your bookings, the way you communicate with co-contractors, things like this.
I don't know if this comes across for the listeners, but although our bands are different in their style, but we run our businesses very differently as well. And I
Harley with an iron fist.
Yes.
Mine more with a wobbly fist.
A wobbly fist. That's
no.
Okay. But I like how you run your business, and I think you do a very good job of it, and it's great. But I'm partially not organised enough. I'm also there are some points I'm really solid with, some bits I'm more fluid with, and you're the other way around. And because of how we as people, companies are run by people, and they have to be different.
Here we go. Freaky Friday moment. We switch bodies. What would be the first thing you'd do in the Lockabillies if you were me?
I'd just look in the mirror all night
and just say, "What have you become?"
Mate, I would. Wow. Okay. So Freaky Friday.
Right.
What? As in, got a gig this weekend and got to, just how I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I don't know.
So
how
would you check to see, because you can't let on to the band that you're Harley and Josh Body.
Okay. Well, I would be louder for a start. I don't know, business wise, you're very good at doing personalized posters for each show and stuff like that, whereas I'm not that way inclined. I would have a slightly more generic, and I do have a slightly more generic poster that works for every venue, because that's what works for me, and the way that I work is I'm not creative visually.
So you'd have your bog standard poster, yeah. What about making sure all the musicians are there and stuff? You have access to my Facebook.
I have access to your Facebook. Okay, great. Well, I would make sure Rainer's car works.
So you being me with my fumbly hands would go and fix his car. Yeah.
This is the thing. I'd be able to go around and pick everyone up for the gig.
Well, because they have rather large arms.
Yes. I have all these arms.
I say large by length.
Yeah. And I'm Rich under one arm, Rainer under the other, and
Murray on my shoulders.
Yep.
Your shoulders, sorry.
Yeah, Murray on my shoulders. It's a great side podcast by Murray there. Murray on my shoulders.
Murray on my shoulders. Murray. That's his other podcast.
Is that his other podcast?
Yeah,
okay, cool.
It's about economy.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I don't know. I just think we'd run very differently. How would, if you were Freaky Friday into me, what would you do?
I don't know. I feel like
you've gone straight for serious, and I'm happy about that.
I'd be like, straight away, people would be like, "Can you give me a lift from this place?" I'd be like,
yeah.
I don't know. I'd probably be a bit more mean. I'd be like, "Nah, that's all right. I'll get somebody else."
Yeah.
And I don't know if. I don't know if
I don't have the ability to give many people lifts because I've only got one seat in the van.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's just no sitting in the back without straps.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'd probably pick up the bass and be like, and look at your pedals and go, "Oh no."
Is it interesting? Oh, one of the main.
It'd be easier for you to wing my set.
Oh yeah.
But I wouldn't be able to wing yours as easy.
Of course, no, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I might have to get you just play bass with me one night, and I'll just give you my bass and go, here you go. Another thing, way we run is that I'm very pro agency, and you've been very timid for that before because you've been stung by them in the past. Whereas I've always had good experiences with agencies, and that's one thing that we run quite differently.
Definitely.
And that's going really well for us at the moment.
Yeah.
Not saying it won't.
Getting some new videos and stuff out of it as well.
Oh yeah, we got a video out. Yeah,
that's
that
good.
came out last week. I probably should have mentioned that. But
Yeah.
anyway.
Go on Chart Attack
Yeah.
Facebook. And
Yes.
You can see it.
Facebook.com/Chart Attack UK.
Yes, that's the one. Yeah, it's got UK.
I remembered it. You'll see us this weekend featuring Josh dressed as me on bass.
The difficult thing is I don't know.
You'd be wearing my clothes, but still be your size.
You'd have to get used to ducking a lot.
Yeah, I would be unconscious quite often.
Hitting on your head on everything.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. All right, it's time for... Music news. Here we go with music news. Oh, and why do you have to punctuate at the end of every jingle? You're like, whoo!
I was trying to cough before it. And it
Cough,
didn't.
cough.
Yeah, no, that cough was all part of the jingle, mate.
I like it. It's a proper musician, proper rhythm section. You did it in time as well.
Oh, have you ever had to sneeze during a gig?
Oh, too many
God.
times.
Like, do I sneeze in time? I try and sneeze on the downstroke.
Well, it's difficult when you're singing.
Oh.
Pretty woman. That's
it. When you're in your...
Anyway.
Pretty woman.
Which part of that was me sneezing? The pretty woman bit. Yeah, the
I
rest
still
of it was
haven't
my bad
yet.
singing voice.
I'm holding it. I'm holding it.
So anyway, we're talking about CD Baby. CD Baby, have you used them before? They're like a distribution aggregate between self.
When you say have I used
bands.
CD Baby, are you saying have I used CDs and then just being condescending?
ASAP. Have you used CD Baby? CD Baby.
I haven't, but actually no, I have by proxy when we were playing with Flickr.
Flickr.
With
Okay,
Reno's
cool.
band. Yeah, we use CD Baby to promote.
It's a crazy thing
all
because
our
it started in 1998 as a CD online CD retailer. I bought my first ever Offspring album from that.
Oh wow!
Conspiracy of One.
Wow, I didn't know
It
that.
was back in the day. I think they were based out of Japan back then. I'm not sure.
Right.
But anyway, so according to estimated figures published by MIDIA Research, total revenue generated by self-releasing artists in 2018 was £643 million, up 35% on 2017.
35% up. That's really good.
That's pretty huge, isn't
That's
it?
a good sign for sort of independent music.
But I mean, think about how much the it's like 1.3 billion in the UK is the entire music stuff. So it's quite a small percentage, but it is substantial. When the equivalent annual number hit 472 million in 2017. If you think, that's up 35% to 643 million, that's quite a lot. But Music Business World, which is where I got this music from, this news from, can reveal that a single distribution company, CD Baby, contributed over £100 million of that £600 million.
So they had a large chunk in
The
that.
lion's share of that one, the baby's share of it. So that's up £20 million on 2017. So they have grown by 20%.
That's good for them.
It's kind of across the board, everything's great. So they're US based though. Now I think they used to be Japanese,
right?
But they must have been bought out ages ago. But they've got 750,000 artists on there.
Yeah.
So if you think that's for $1 million, that means sort of every artist. Go on, use your quick maths again. So if 750,000 artists making 100 million in a year, what's that?
750,000 making 20-something thousand.
They make some. It's better than me. So I'm gonna check this. So
yeah, that was a complete guess. My quick maths last week was 100% a fluke.
It was awesome.
And you keep telling people that I'm really good at quick maths.
It's kind of like making like every artist making £1.30.
I was a little bit off.
20,000. Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, but they also
that's two iTunes sales.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
I did quick math.
Quick maths. So that's 170,000 songwriters and over 9 million tracks across 800 plus genres. CD Baby Plus also has 1.1 million songs in its publishing catalogue for worldwide performance and mechanical collection from YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, publishing, Sync, and others. So they don't just work in distribution; they work in publishing. So they're kind of getting this 180 style deal. It's not quite. They're not doing touring.
Yeah.
But they are doing distribution and rights. So, and they're not actually signing the artists to be exclusive to them. So they're working like a record label.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
And now are they doing Spotify and
yes,
which is the way to go. That's the thing. Like, how does a company that were known, they were a CD distributor and then they were a CD duplicator?
Yeah. Do you think there are a lot of young artists and they're going, I get the baby bit, but what's a CD?
Oh, I don't know.
Is it like an iTunes? But yeah, so it's
like an iTunes?
As an interesting thing because mechanical rights are quite a bit of a minefield. Sort of thinking about, who owns what in terms of the recordings and the actual physical copies of sort of the master discs and stuff like this. So, having somebody on your side to do that, I mean, I had to navigate that when releasing the last two albums that I've released.
Yeah.
And it's a massive faff. So having somebody on your side like these sort of like TuneCore, I use TuneCore, but I've considered moving over to CD Baby. I mean, it is useful to have those sort of people that are experts and can actually do stuff by kind of numbers rather than you sitting there going, all right, let's figure this all out.
Yeah.
So would you use CD Baby?
I would. Like I say, it's a name that I know. When you tell them it's a brand name, and it was kind of the big player for like CD making back when they existed. So I probably would. That would probably be a first place that I would go to. Seconded only to TuneCore, just because you mentioned it before about that's where you went to sort your stuff. And I'd probably sort of the way I work with those kind of things. I'd look at them both, work out what gets the best deal for me, and what is the best deal for what I'm trying to create.
I've had more people coming to me saying they use CD Baby than TuneCore, which is obvious in the data there, so that's a sixth of...
Yeah. What led you to go for TuneCore, or was it?
That was someone I'd learnt about in university.
Right.
So back when I was doing my degree, it was talking about, because streaming was relatively new then, I'd only just got on a Spotify. This would have been 2011.
So TuneCore, were TuneCore sort of newer to the game?
New, yeah. So they'd sort of shown us like a documentary on, like sort of short documentary about TuneCore.
Right.
So I was like, that just sort of stuck with me.
Yeah.
So early adopters and all that sort of stuff. It's usually the first name that you hear is the one that you trust the most for sort of subconscious. Sometimes.
Certainly, yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? If you use CD Baby, if you use TuneCore, let us know. You can tweet us at Lockabillies, at Harley C.
I'm going to try my voice command thing, and I'll see what Raina thinks of it. Shall we?
What do you mean?
Okay, Google. Text Raina.
This is very strange to do.
What's the message?
What do you think of CD Baby? Please reply quickly.
He's probably listening in right now. He said he was playing at home alone. Because we went to the gym last night.
Oh, you did, didn't you?
Together, and I'm still in pain from us being alone together in the gym. Yeah.
Did you go into the studio, do some
stretch
hands?
Yes, exactly. Nice. He's stretch arm strong. So yeah, let us know what you guys think, because it's obviously a growing industry. More and more people are being entrepreneurial as solo musicians and bands and independent artists, and it looks to be an ever-growing thing. Do you think the bubble will burst? Do you think the more and more people will start going, oh god, it's too hard?
I think what we'll see is that will become the way, and then to counteract that, record labels and agencies will make it easier for them to do it for the artist, and find a way to make it more appealing for labels to take over. And it will kind of wave like that. If you look through history, there's always been a sort of a war between independent artists or independent labels and the major labels, and they'll do various things have sort of happened for one to take over the other. At the moment, of course, it's very major label dominated, but I feel it will go one way and then go the other way.
And then suddenly you get some White Walkers come in, and then and there's a Blue Dragon, and
of course, yeah, and then
Great War.
Then you got to learn how to train your dragon. Let's keep going.
With soothing music. So yeah, I don't know. That was interesting. So let us know what you guys think about CD Baby. So let's get on to our next segment. Thing I found report about this morning.
Jingle.
There it is. So, as we were talking about during our meeting, we want to sort of have a quick talk about what we think Ipswich needs to do to stand out in the UK music industry. Because we've had many, many years of people complaining and moaning. Ipswich doesn't have this, Ipswich doesn't have that. But it does have a lot of good things. So I've listed just a few off the top of my head, things that I love about the Ipswich music industry. South Street Studios, where we are right now, which has Punch Studios, IO Radio, teaching rooms upstairs, and the Smokehouse.
Of course,
it's
Smokehouse.
Dedicated music venue. Great. Webby's Jam.
Yeah,
good old Webby. I mean, he's been
great community musicians there. Always, always very friendly. Very supportive of each other.
Yeah. Out of Time Records.
Lovely place.
Yeah, so that's great place that people have been going for absolutely yonks to get great records and talk about music. So just having somewhere to just stand and talk to somebody,
and they're really friendly. Like the guys who work there just well up for a chat and to talk about influences and things like that. And it's a great place for
Head
that.
down there.
Yeah.
Record labels. We've got Backwater Records.
Yes.
From Steve and also Jason Wicker with Antigen Records.
Antigen, yeah.
So there's some wonderful acts on there.
Yeah.
And it's all homegrown. They, both Jason and Steve both break their backs doing it for local musicians.
And it's all for the music.
Yeah,
it's all for the music.
That every profit that they get goes back into it. So that's something to be very grateful for around here. BBC Introducing in Suffolk.
Yes.
Yeah, we had Graham and Richard for a long time, and now we've got Angel added to the mix.
Yeah.
But just constantly bringing us new musicians that we didn't even know were right on our doorstep. So that's wonderful. Thank you guys.
Mm-hmm.
As Radio Suffolk itself and Stephen Foster.
I think Steve Foster's a big player in the local music scene.
Definitely. I mean, I wouldn't have gotten any radio play.
No.
A lot anyway if it wasn't for my first ever meeting.
He's really supportive.
Interview with Stephen Foster, definitely.
Yeah.
I think we've got a really great, faithful crowd in Ipswich.
Yeah.
There's people that we can count on that will be at every single gig or be at a gig. They will go out. They'll just sit there and think, I'm doing it's Friday. I don't feel very well, but I'm going to go out. Yeah. I'm going to go and spend some money in a venue and make a band feel like they're rock stars. Yeah. And, those people are, I think they're very, very concentrated here. Yeah. I don't think there's, we don't think we have a lack of people that want music.
We have Ipswich Music Day.
Yeah.
Well, that's the biggest free music festival in the UK.
It's huge, isn't it?
And, you got all these people and they love it. And, they get, I can't remember what the numbers were.
It's about 30,000, 40,000 people.
Yeah. So
Ridiculous.
All those people love music and they're great supporters of it.
One thing we've been doing for ages was Adi and Tim's Blues Jam.
Of course, yes.
That's, I learned a lot from just hanging out with other musicians and just learn a lot about the blues from people that have been playing on this scene for years.
And again, you get some incredible musicians there, and you also have some just friendly people, really supportive community. Again, you got some real youngsters that started there and have now sort of gone on to do some really great things.
Yeah. Andy Bartlett.
Yes.
So radio stations, IO Radio, here we are, and ICR FM, wonderful radio stations that will plug your music, and all you've got to do is ask. Yeah. There's no barrier there. There's literally send us your music, and we will listen to it, and if it's good, we will play it. And there's not a sort of thing like, you've got to go through this form, you've got to talk to an accounting. No, just send us your music and we'll listen to it and probably play it because we love it. Yeah. And also Ipswich Gigs from Andrew Culture and Grapevine, who we use every single week.
There's a great online community on Facebook and stuff like just generally just for people supporting music and telling people what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. So, there's loads to be good. However, there is also stuff that we need to correct, which came up in the meeting last week. So, one thing that Amy Ragg brought up, which I thought was a very important point, was we need a lower venue hire cost, because everything around here, if you want to put on a night, you do have to pay quite a lot rather than doing like a ticket split, or just say, you get the bar takings because you'll make a lot if there's 200-300 people at least. So there needs to be more venues that are willing to
sort of take that leap. It's not that
take a risk.
That risk shouldn't be on the onus of the on the onus of the promoter.
I think there needs to be more independent band nights in art centres. So we've got a lot of good art centres like St Nicholas Centre, St Peter's on the Waterfront. And there's just, like the Corn Exchange. Great places that I think just need to be putting on a band night. Could be on a weekday. Doesn't have to be, one of the times when they're not very busy. I know when, I used to work on all of these venues. And I know when, certain times a year when it's just super quiet, they could put something on. A better understanding between musicians and venues, which we're working towards now, I think.
I think that's gone leaps and bounds in the last week, which is great.
Yeah, I think we need more active promotion from musicians and venues.
Yes,
and not just Facebook. Like everybody's just like, I'm going to put about an Instagram post. I'm going to put out a Facebook post. I'm going to go out to other people's gigs, and go out into the street and flyer. Just talk to people and go face to face, and you'll meet people. That's just the way to do it.
That's it. One thing I've always said is that when you're advertising on Facebook, you're only advertising to the people online, and not everybody's online. Now, I just literally just googled this stat. There's 2.2 billion active users on MySpace.
MySpace.
On Facebook. Shush. But that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
But there's 7 billion of us in the world. So if you think about it, that's less than 20% of the world's community.
And it'll be 20%
online.
of those people who actually use their account.
Yeah. Well, those are active users.
Active users, right, okay,
so there are. So if you think about in the case of Ipswich, you're only appealing to 15.7% of the local area of people, and when you're playing music that appeals to every age, it's going to be a lot of the older people who love music, who are well into that scene, who aren't seeing your advert.
Or the other way around. I mean, I get a lot of people, it's Facebook, the general age demographic is growing and growing and growing, and it's sort of late 30s now. It's not on average.
Yeah,
whereas Instagram is the way to go.
Yeah.
Instagram's the way to go, but then that is now getting us more people in their 20s. There's just more and more social media that's just, you're getting priced out of the market all the time. Well, by your age. So it's best just go out and go to where you think your audience is going to be. Don't just post stuff about it, and don't just email people. It's just pointless. And I think there's one thing I think we're really lacking is a lot of music blogs. Yeah. So we don't have a lot of music journalism going on around here. Right. There's not a lot of people that I see around. I mean, there's certain people like Ross and Molly that go around to our gigs and take pictures, and they'll do it for the East Anglian sometimes, and they'll also do it for I've completely forgotten her blog's name, but I will link it. I follow it on Instagram as well. It's great. But, it's one of those things, we're not very wary of it. There's not like a fanzine going around. It's sort of very... we've regressed, I think, into just getting it from the main outlets, or just watching a video and not actually reading stuff. So, I don't know of any vlogs around here other than Rainer's that talk about, what music's going on. Yeah, he's one of the few
ones that are doing it from the musician side.
There's plenty of radio going on, so there's Webby and us that do it, and loads of people here at iRadio and ICR that will talk about it. But album reviews, we get them in the grapevine, maybe 2 or 3 in a month. Yeah. But there needs to be more than that.
Definitely.
Not just in the grapevine, I mean everywhere.
Especially with the amount of music that's being produced around this area. We've got a new release coming from a different band at least once, twice a month. Yeah. That's the one. They're only the ones that are getting to us.
And it's single releases a lot more now, isn't it? People are just sending us singles. So, just a release of a review of one single. Yeah, totally. But anyway, so before we finish up the show, what do you guys think? Because, there's so much that we could be doing and stuff that we are doing already, which I think is great. But let us know what you guys think about our Ipswich music scene. Let's get to... So, you are playing this weekend, aren't you?
I am indeed, yes.
You're playing at the Three Wise Monkeys in Ipswich.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
That's going to be great.
It's, Three Wise Monkeys is one of those places that I've heard so much about it in Colchester. It's a great sort of hub for music there, and they're really building it up in Ipswich, and it'll be great. Yeah. Following the footsteps of some great people who have played there already.
Like you. Other Joshes. We've got tonight Kev Wolford and Kelly Bayfield are at the Sorrel Horse. That's 8:30 at the Sorrel Horse pub in Shottisham. That's near Woodbridge in Suffolk. So that's tonight, but that's Monday. So if you're listening on the Thursday podcast, you'd missed it. Yeah, I'm sorry for your loss. January 16th, we've got Mark Harrison. That's Wednesday at 8:30. That's the midweek blues in town. That's at the Duke of York. Duke of York, please put your venue on the actual list there, because you can't actually see it. Anyway, Friday, Matt White and the Emulsions.
Great, yeah.
They are back at the Shamrock. Yes. Friday at 9:30.
Nice.
It wasn't
I'm going to try and make it along to that if I get back from... I'm in Exeter. If I get back in time...
What are you doing in Exeter?
I'm doing...
Party on, Exeter!
I'm doing conference work for BT Open Reach.
Oh, cool.
Down there.
Getting
gonna
them
be
monies. Okay, cool. So that's January 18th with Matt White. Also, January 18th at the Three Ways Monkeys in Colchester, we've got Leontes, Dog on a Stick, Tom Parks and his Blackwater Boys. If you like a bit of rugged rock and also a little bit of folk and blues, check that out. January 18th, we've also got Friday, Colchester Arts Centre. They've got On for 2019. It's their picks for who they think to watch in 2019. Check some of these bands out. We didn't have any space to fit them in because we had quite a lot of music to play today.
Cool.
Los Hombres Buenos. They're quite an interesting band. I like them.
Nice.
Silent Natives, Swimsuit Competition, The Hemingways, When Rivers Meet, Matt Calderbank, Philip Marino, and Bowie Bartlett. So, interesting night on. Lots of music. That's 7 o'clock this Friday in Colchester. January 19th, we got Rad Pit.
Nice.
Tundra, Pet Needs, The Interesting Times Gang, and Kill the Crow. We've played most of those bands on this show.
We have,
love
yeah.
them all. That's at the Hunter Club in
Can I-
Bury St Edmunds.
Call someone out.
That's January 19th.
I've got Salutation Ipswich event this Saturday.
Right.
Don't know who it's from. It's just that literally the event is Salutation Ipswich. Oh, Lee Ainsley's Blue Storm. That's the person. I'm assuming that's the band because that's who's.
Another
Do-
Ainsley doing blues. That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
But-
guys, come on. Just name the event after your band. The venue will be in the description. It's
Yeah.
fine. You
Yeah.
don't have to get... Anyway, so yeah, do that. Got Chart
Or do
Attack at
both.
the Three Ways Monkeys.
Yeah,
Saturday
boy.
at 9 o'clock. I can't make it. I'm afraid I'm playing a private party this Saturday.
Oh, nice.
But
Is a wedding
Felixstowe Sailing Club doing
Okay.
a retirement party.
retirement party? So
Yeah.
if you want to go, date someone older.
Retire.
Yeah.
Also, January 19th, we've got Colorblind Hedgehogs.
Hey.
That is at the Black Horse. You can see Rob Lewis there. That's Saturday at 8:30. Also, we have January 20th, Homebrew.
Nice.
Good old Mark and Lou. They'll be at Sunday at 5 o'clock in the Hand in Hand in Trimley. So I think that was the first place I saw them.
Sweet.
It was at the Hand in Hand. Well, we've had a wonderful time talking to you people. Thank you so much for listening to us again.
We're going to finish with some great music from Reno Rome.
Yeah, I was well happy to see this EP come out. I've been
Yes.
waiting for it for ages.
Yes, definitely. I haven't had a chance to give the whole thing a listen yet, but I'm really looking forward to give it. Is it?
First, yeah, I listened to it first time I could, and
Yeah.
that was yesterday.
Right. Yeah.
And I wasn't disappointed. It was really nice, well produced. I think it's been a long time coming. They've got a lot more in the pipeline though.
Good.
They sort of dropped this EP kind of out of nowhere a little bit.
Yeah.
Just to be like, right, okay, here's a taster. There's more coming. So
Great. I've got an 8-hour-long train journey tomorrow, so I've got plenty of time to give all this new music a listen. So in the meantime, if you've got any suggestion of music for me to listen to tomorrow,
definitely.
send it my way.
Yeah, and if you've got any music that you want us playing on the radio, please let us know.
Yeah.
We have been getting suggestions from people and some new music sent to us, which we've got some new music for you next week as well, which I'm looking forward to. Can't wait. But until then, please make sure you subscribe, like, and give us a review on Facebook and on iTunes.
Yes.
And, stuff. Love you.
Enough. Yes.
This is Rise and Fall by Reno Rome.
It is.
Bye.